Good morning, Unity of Sarasota. How's everyone today? All right, we got a lot of great things going on here today, and we're going to start with a chant that I haven't done in a while, but it's always good to do. It reminds us how powerful we can be when we create and we come together and what we can all make together. So the lyrics will come up on the next bunch of slides. It goes like this. We create love. Want to stand and do this? It might be easier. We create love. We're remembering. We're awakening. And we create love. Let's do peace. Create peace. We create peace. We're remembering. We're awakening. And we create peace. Let's do joy now. Remembering Creation Energy. And now Susan.
Wow, that felt good. Warms my heart. Okay, I'm Susan Crystal. I'm one of your board members here, and on the first Sunday of the month, I get the wonderful opportunity to see you from this direction instead of the back of your head, so that's kind of a fun thing to do. But anyway, we like to start our service with an affirmation that really says who Unity of Sarasota is. So welcome all, and say with me, we are a beacon of light and love, opening minds, touching hearts, and transforming lives. And we are an inclusive spiritual community that embraces empowering and life-affirming practical spirituality for richer living right now. We join with the Unity Worldwide in creating a world that works for all. So wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you are always welcome to join us here at Unity of Sarasota. So we do have wonderful guests here most of the time. So do we have any first-time guests here today? Okay. Would you mind standing up for us and letting us know where you're from? Well, welcome. Thank you for coming in today. And your name is? Michelle. Well, come, make sure you make it down to Fellowship Hall later. And this is Bruce. He's going to give you a nice little welcome packet. And it has a necklace that it's really great that if you wear it down in Fellowship Hall, it allows you to get first in line for coffee. But it actually stands for the oneness and also you as an individual in that all oneness of the whole necklace. There's also a packet there, and in that packet, if you fill it out, it would be great because that way we can keep in contact with you, and you can fill it out and put it in the offering when you walk out, or you can put it down at Fellowship Hall with Bruce, because Bruce is the guy who's handing all this stuff out. Okay, and who's this lovely lady here? My name's Natalie. Hi, Natalie.
Came from Unity of Garden Park in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, wonderful. Welcome. And how about this young lady here?
Hi, I'm Mary. I've been in Sarasota for a couple of years. I'm originally from Michigan.
Welcome. And how about the group back here?
I'm Jose, this is my family, and we've been living in Sarasota pretty much since 2004. My case, and she's from here.
Well, welcome. Welcome all of you for being here with us today. So we also have all the wonderful people who are on live stream. And for those of you who don't know, at Unity of Sarasota, you can actually watch this service sometime today, sometime a week from now, or whatever. So anyway, if you want to just welcome those people who are at home watching us, that would be great. Because it's nice to have them. We normally have about 15 or 20 people who do it that way, so it's really nice that we have that option. And you can also find us on YouTube and Facebook, and it's just wonderful having all of you celebrate with us today. Now, Cheryl, she's our kid master. No Sunday school? Okay, so we don't have any Sunday school kids with us today, but okay, I understand. So we're going to celebrate you as well as all of us who have the kids inside of us. So if you want to repeat after me from what's on the slide, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we see the living spirit in you. And just so you know, for those people who Nova people who have children or something, what Cheryl is going to be teaching this month is the power of imagination. So I imagine she's doing a wonderful job with that. Now, as far as announcements, we always have some of those, right? So today is birthday Sundays. Rob's going to sing happy birthday.
We'll all stand up.
Yeah, so do we have any June birthdays? I'm one too.
All right. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you.
younger, right? So now there is going to be coffee and cake later to celebrate your birthday, so you can't say you didn't have cake and coffee for your birthday. Now, we're going to be doing something special, or I should say Betty is doing something special on June the 8th at 6:30, between 6:30 and 7:30. She's going to be doing a Zoom call. Now, the purpose of that call is to get to know you all better, to see if you have any concerns. We know that we're going through this transition right now, so if there's any of you who have any questions, it's almost a really nice setting where you can be with Betty and she's going to answer any questions you have. Now, we can't obviously publish that up there, but when you walk out, my understanding is there is a document or it's in your bulletin that gives you the information on how to get on that Zoom call. So if you can, put it on your calendar for June the 8th at 6:30. We're also going to have a new event coming, which is going to be with Tim and Cheryl Chaffee. They're going to do a puppet karaoke. Now, does that sound like fun? So it says here, if you have stage fright, let the puppet sing for you. So we probably have a few people who do that, but only age-appropriate songs, of course. And then in June and July, we do have our Artist of the Month, Daniela Goulart. She's still going to be here with her art, and she's going to have a reception on June the 29th. I guess that was changed from the 7th, so it'll be the 29th now. And then we also have these special kids coming to town that are from all over that are going to be coming here playing for us. So we're really blessed to have that. And that's only because we're such an artsy community here. They're going to be here on June 11th and June the 18th to be doing some nice special songs and entertainment for us. So make sure that you're here and enjoy that. And does everybody know if we have enough volunteers for that? Because it's kind of a big deal. We still need more volunteers. So if you're somebody who can help with driving or picking up stuff, we need your help. So Peg Beck is the one who's doing that, and I know she's out for a little bit, right? But if you call Carol, she can organize that for you because she does everything here. And then on Father's Day, we're going to be so happy to have you and your family here with us. That's going to be on the 18th of June. We are going to have a barbecue. It's going to be right after the service on the 18th. It's going to have all that special music. So I know that Scott's in charge of it. So he's going to make sure we have plenty of food, and it's going to be really good. So make sure you put on your calendar to come see us then, okay? Right. And then we also have the Friday Spirit of Express with Curtan. That's every Friday. And so that's just something that people come and have a good time. So if you're looking for something to do that's fun on Friday night, come and join us. It's at 7 o'clock in Fellowship Hall. And it really is all about sacred chanting, and it really kind of puts you in a nice, relaxed state for your weekend. And then we have Tim back there, okay? Tim is our special guy who takes care of all the audiovisual here, and he's looking for volunteers as well. But what he's decided to do is have a special training session on the 11th after the service. So if you're somebody who thinks you would like to volunteer or you'd like to get to know about something like that, there's a sign-up sheet, right, Tim? Sign-up sheet right back there. He's got it. And
There it is.
he'll answer any questions you have, but you don't have to have any special knowledge. You just have to be willing to be here and be able to sit with us and help us. So anyway, I think that's all the announcements. Yeah.
Let's stand and do the Unity song together. Every prayer is answered. Every prayer is heard. Every thought and feeling, every spoken word. What your soul has longed for, what your heart can feel, is already here, is already real.
So now we're going to do our statement of being, and like you to join me in saying there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God, who is perfect life, perfect intelligence, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. You are an individualized expression of God. We are individualized expressions of God. So we have another wonderful song from Rob.
Thank you. Yeah, this is an old hymn, one of my favorite old hymns. I just thought I'd bring a few of these back because they're good reminders. And since we are all individualized expressions of God, and I get the opportunity every Sunday to be an individual expression of God for all of you in music sense, I'm now just wanted to say thank you for 12 years. This is when I do my... Yeah, thank you. So, let's all sing together, "And Great is Thy Faithfulness," this great old hymn. Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my power. There is no shadow of turning with thee. Thou changest not, thy compassions, they fail not. As thou hast been, thou art ever will be. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, God, unto me. Summer and winter, springtime and harvest, sun, moon, and stars in their courses above. Join with all nature in bountiful witness to thy great faithfulness, mercy, and love. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, God, unto me.
So good morning, everyone, on this beautiful, glorious first Sunday in June. Wow, half the year's gone by. Where'd it go, right? And we're so grateful to have so many newcomers today, guests from both Sarasota here and elsewhere, and so we welcome you again and love you being here and hope you'll come back. And also to those streaming this morning, another hello over there. Let's wave again to say we are joined with you in this beautiful circle of faith this morning, coming together to remember who we really are. That's what every talk I do is about. That's what unity is about. That we are the living, breathing expression of God every moment of our life. We are connected, inextricably connected to the divine. no matter what our circumstances. And all of this month, we're going to talk about faith. That's our theme for this month. And most Unity churches around the country are using that same theme. So it's so refreshing, actually, to get back to faith because it is the foundation that underlies all of our spiritual teachings. Faith, faith. But we may have a little different take on it, than some of the mainstream churches do. So we're going to remember some of the foundational information about faith today, foundational understanding, how faith is underneath our physical reality, and more importantly, our metaphysical reality. So, the Bible in Hebrews defines faith. It's the assurance of things hoped for. The assurance of things hoped for. And the conviction of things unseen. So look, just take that in. Take that in. If we could just trust that as the truth, right? It restores our hope. Faith is our assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. And Charles Fillmore, our co-founder of Unity, calls it the perceiving power of the mind that is linked with God's energy to then create our experiences on this earth and to create the physical environment that we live in. Hope for a better world requires faith in what we cannot see today, but being sure that the good is always going to win out. God is good. These are fundamental teachings, and it's so easy to just forget the very basics, isn't it? When we're surrounded by so much going on in our lives these days, wow, this big shift is really affecting all of us. I mean, there's the outside shift that's going on, and then we know in our personal lives, things keep changing. We as our human selves really like to predict what's going to happen, to control what's going to happen. But if we can just relax into the truth that it's all going to be good, that the universe will conspire, to bring good forward always, and to trust that truth. And the other quote that I don't think I really have heard before, that it was in my files somewhere, and it's a quote by St. Augustine, and I was like blown away when I read this quote from St. Augustine, who was like a 5th century bishop, in the church of the time, and actually had came out of North Africa. St. Augustine, he said, faith is to believe what we do not see. Well, that fits with that Hebrews quote, right? The Bible quote. Faith is to believe what you do not see. But the reward of faith, now this is the piece I love, the reward of faith is to see what you believe. Faith is believing in what we don't see. But if we can believe in what we don't see, we're rewarded by seeing what we believe. And that works either way. If we believe it's a good world, and that people are good, then that's what we're going to be seeing, right? If we see the world as scary, that's what we're going to be seeing over and over and over again. What we construct in our mind is the perception we will use to receive the future. Wow. Big ideas. Simply said, but when you start peeling back the layers of what that means and the impact that has on our life and the possibilities it holds for those times when we're walking through troubled waters, faith can bring us through. So there's a story in the New Testament about the woman who was following Jesus through the crowd when he had just finished one of his talks, and he was surrounded by people as they're all kind of moving to get close to him. She had suffered for many, many years of severe hemorrhaging and had gone to countless physicians of the time, but they couldn't seem to cure her. And so this situation of hemorrhaging made her an outcast. She was considered, in the culture of the time, unclean. So she also had to isolate herself. So not only did she have her physical misery, she was isolated, alone, lonely. So it must have been pretty brave of her to go out into the countryside and join this crowd of people. And so as the crowd is moving, she's trying to follow Jesus. And finally, she's brave enough to reach out and touch just the fringe of his robe. And he feels that connection and stops and turns around and said, "Who was that?" Now she cowers in the background, and nobody else will admit that they touched his robe. And he kept persisting to find the person because he could feel that connection, wanted to support whoever had touched him. And so she came forth trembling and kind of fell on the ground and told her story. And he stopped and reached down, took her hand, lifted her up, and he said, take heart, daughter. Take heart, for your faith has made you well. Go in peace." Isn't that what we want to hear when we're struggling and suffering in any kind of situation? Take heart. Take heart. And hold on to that peace within, right? So the quick metaphysical interpretation of that story is that, Jesus represents and demonstrated over and over in these beautiful stories of his ability to make that connection with the God power within him. That he was very, very aware that infinite divine spirit was moving in and through and as him. And he kept teaching over and over and over, you got it too. You got the same ability. He kept telling the disciples that. He kept telling the people that. But they were not of the consciousness to be able to really understand it all. And there were times he must have gotten really frustrated because he had such passion for this message. You got it too. You've got God's power in you. He kept saying it over and over and over. You will do these things I'm doing that you consider miracles. You can do it too. So again, a fundamental lesson in this simple little story. Over 2,000 years old, this story rings true. So, this doesn't cost anything to try it out, right? You know, we go off, sometimes spend years in therapy and spend all this money trying to get healed of all these many different physical and mental conditions that perhaps if we just went within and set the intention to heal, to rise up in consciousness, that's really going to assist us and will eventually heal us when we have that full intention to use the power of God that's in us. Precious, precious understanding and wisdom if we can connect in that way. And so faith is the foundation of all healing. We can help, our caregivers if we're going to the doctor, or if we're going, having a particular procedure or something, to prepare ourselves with faith, knowing that ultimately good will prevail, that health and wholeness is our birthright. And we will be stronger for that if we can have that kind of consciousness. But it really takes practicing that connection, just having that intention and taking time away. In that story about the crowds symbolize the busyness and the noise in society. That's what the crowds in a metaphysical understanding. And, we've got crowds through everything that kind of assaults us through the media, through gossip, through, especially right now, on all those social media. There's so much noise, in terms of information. We're overloaded with information in this era we're living in. And so taking time apart from all that noise, the crowd, is so important to make that connection with God within. Sitting in the silence periodically through the day, finding your peace multiple times a day helps strengthen your faith. Just emptying your mind, relaxing your body. Learn to meditate. Learn to go within. And again, we can do it anywhere. We can, if you're sitting in traffic, sitting in an office waiting for an appointment, we can do some going within, spending that time going within. And faith opens the door to possibilities we may never have thought of through our human mind, because then we're going directly to big mind, God mind, downloading divine wisdom, opening up to possibility. And sometimes Jesus had lessons for people to say they didn't have enough faith. There was one time that he went back to his hometown, if you remember that little story. He went back to Nazareth, and he was going to teach in the synagogue, and the people, what'd they say? Who does he think he is? He was just the son of the carpenter down the road. What's he going to teach us? They were cynical. They didn't accept him. And so it says in that passage, he didn't do many miracles. He didn't do much healing in that town because they were of little faith. They couldn't have appreciated it anyway. And another time, there was the time that a man brought his son to be healed who had epilepsy. And some of the disciples were working with Jesus at that point, so they were working, trying to practice these healing ideas, these healing principles Jesus was teaching. And they worked with the son, but it didn't work. And so the man brought his son up to Jesus to heal, and the cure happened. This is the story. And again, whether you believe that is literally true or not doesn't matter. It's the metaphysical lesson that we teach beneath that. What happened there was the disciples then saw this young boy healed and was marveling at that, and they go to Jesus and they whimper, why couldn't we do that? Haven't we had experience like that? Why couldn't we do the healing? We saw this person that we were so jealous of doing something wonderful. Why can't I be like that? Well, Jesus looked at him and says, because of your little faith, because of your lack of faith. And so we know that they just kept working it. They kept learning it, and they raised their consciousness to be able to do many, many wonderful things as this whole movement grew of understanding that we are carriers of this sacred power within us. And so that is that lesson. And faith is the antidote to fear. We're just like the disciples. They were ordinary people trying to learn how to raise their consciousness so that they were releasing any fears or doubts or worries. But, they still felt that. And even Jesus felt that. So even the great masters have gone through periods of learning and releasing, because there's a releasing part too. We have to clear our consciousness so that we can raise up our consciousness. So whenever we feel fear or worry, let's remember to take that as a sign that we're at least aware of that emotion. And it's sort of, like the canary in the coal mine. You get that sense of fear or worry or doubt or something, and you probably get even a physical symptom. Like I sort of get a feeling in the pit of my stomach. My shoulders might feel overwhelmed. You feel some physical discomfort when you are feeling fear, right, of something. Or worry has an effect on your body. So be aware of that, and let that be a signal to you that if you let fear or doubt or worry take up a home in your consciousness, it's just going to multiply. That's more of what you're going to get. So you see that as a signal to say, I'm going to sit and change my mind. I'm going to shift to the good, to the positive, and only allow good thoughts to come through. I'm going to put the bad thoughts behind me. That's like, get thee behind me, Satan. That's what Jesus meant. Put those negative thoughts behind you. We are masters of our mind. We can control our emotions and our feelings. And we can change our minds. That's all part of spiritual transformation. And as we change our mind, literally, we change our brain. Do you know that? They're making all kinds of scientific, discoveries about how as we learn to change our mind and our thinking, it's actually creating new pathways in our brain to think differently, to see differently, to hear differently, to look for the good instead of the bad in all situations, to look for the possibilities that come out of difficult, challenging kinds of experiences. And we all have them. We're all alike in that way. And we are like Jesus. We are like the great masters. We have the Buddha mind in us, or the Zen mind in us. We are all connected. And many of you might be yogis. And so, all of that is universal truth, is what we're teaching. We are of God. We are in God. God is in us. And just that simple phrase, you could take into meditation and spend years working it, unpeeling the meanings of that. So, a couple of stories. When I was thinking about all this material, I was thinking about what a good teacher I had a few years back. And I probably have told this story briefly before, but a friend of mine who was a lot younger than me, we were working together, and she became my friend. We traveled together in our job, and so we got to be very close and shared our personal stories, that kind of thing. And so I was around when she got married, and then she started having children. And she got married older in life. So her first child she birthed at age 39. And I got the honor and pleasure of doing her baby blessing. I was just so pleased to sit in her backyard, and all her neighbors came and her family, and we blessed that beautiful baby. And then she got pregnant probably about 14 months, 16 months later, because she wanted to have her kid, she was going to have 2 kids, and she wanted to have them right away because she was getting older. And so the second child she was carrying when we went on a business trip once, and she was a little, she was watching what she ate and everything because she knew she was pregnant, but she shared with me that she had just had an amniocentesis, which is a test to test the blood, and they do that for women of a certain age when they're pregnant, and look for markers in the blood, right, to see if the child is healthy or has some kind of condition. And so they told her that it showed up that there were some markers in the blood or the fluid, I guess. The amniocentesis is a fluid in the sac where the baby is being carried, and told her that there were markers there that the child may have a debilitating disease when it's born. And I loved it. She said, "I'm paying that no attention." I mean, she just decided she had faith that baby was going to be carried through to term as a healthy, wonderful baby. And I just admired her so much because she walked through that process with grace and she did not let fear take hold. And I went to the graduation of that young woman who's now 18 years old. I went to her graduation ceremony a few weeks ago, and it was such a pleasure. Sweet, young, very, very vibrant, brilliant young woman. And so to me, that was such a wonderful lesson around taking news that could worry someone, of course, but if you get lost in the worry, then you just magnify the issue, right? We know that. It just takes hold. And the other example of faith, I was fascinated. Has anybody read that book that's called Proof of Heaven, or seen? There's a movie, I think, even out. It was a neurosurgeon who could not reconcile his scientific beliefs with spirituality. He just didn't believe that there was another reality beyond the physical reality, that he did not believe in a God of any sort. But he was very, very expert in his neuroscience. What an irony. He had some kind of rare infection in his brain that affected his emotions and his feelings, and he had a near-death experience. Now, before his own near-death experience, he believed that it was really just the brain that was being attacked by something, and had fantasy of this afterlife. But he went into a coma for 7 days. Doctors said there was nothing more they could do for him. They were preparing his family for his passing. And after 7 days, his eyes opened and he woke up. And then he tells of this amazing inner journey he had been on. He came back assuring everyone that there is something there. he met and spoke with the divine presence. He's writing books. He's doing YouTube videos. His name is Dr. Eben Alexander. And he has quite a story. So he now has this faith, this assurance, and understanding that there is a reality, there is something beyond death, and that we do have eternal life. So that's an amazing shift and turnaround that I just wanted to highlight. And so I'm going to close with this. This is a portion of a poem by Patrick Overton, and it's about faith. So he says, when you have come to the edge of all light that you know, and you're about to drop off into the darkness of the unknown, faith is knowing one of two things will happen. There will be something solid for you to stand on, or you'll be taught how to fly. Isn't that beautiful? And so that is my wish for all of us, that we connect again with this foundation of faith in our lives, and that we bring forth this hope and assurance that all is well and all will be well. Amen and amen. Now,
All right, this song is the best way so I can set this song up for you is if you would just think of the song as being said to you by your Creator. Okay? When the road gets dark, you can no longer see. Just let my love throw a spark and have a little faith in me. And when the tears that you cry are all that you believe, just give these loving arms a try, babe. Have a little faith in me. 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 When your secret heart cannot speak so easily, come on now, darling, from a whisper spark, have a little faith in me. When your back's to the wall, just turn around and you will see. I will catch you. I will catch you, darling. Just have a little faith in me. 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 Well, I've been loving return, just for you to have a little faith in me. See, time is your friend, 'cause we have no end. All you gotta do is have a little faith in me. I said, I will hold you up. I will hold you up. Love, give me strength now. Give a little faith in me. I said, all I do is have a little faith in me. Have a little faith in me. Have a little faith in me.
Oh, we love our Rob. Yeah.
Thank you, Betty.
Well, the chaplain, we may only have one chaplain here today because some are out, and so we're grateful for Virginia coming forward. And so she'll be ready to serve you as chaplain. And if you would like prayer after the service, please come up and just sit in one of the front rows here, and she'll be with you. And so we're grateful for her. Thank you, Virginia. Yes, okay. We also would invite you to leave your gifts and offerings, and there are baskets out on the table, or the ushers will greet you outside. And we have fellowship down the hall. Let's all now bless our giving and know that God loves a generous giver. And so we say together, divine love blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all I receive abundantly. And so we know that we are abundant, beautiful creations of God. So now we're ready to, we're going to sing the peace song.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yes, there's peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. The God of Creator, family all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Have a great week, everyone.